What's going on, guys? We're back for another We're Racing video. And of course, we have to start off with the passing of the late, great Niki Lauda. What a man he was, what a competitor he was, and that remarkable comeback from that horrifying accident to only come back and win and to be on that same level again is an inspiration to myself personally and to our sport that we behold. He was a great man. He told it like it was. He was a clean racer. And yeah, just one of the great champions who I've really admired and really makes you fall in love with this sport. He's helped Mercedes leaps and bounds since they come back into the sport. And he's raced against the best. He's beaten the best. And he joins the late Charlie as well up there, ready for lights out once again, I expect. So yeah, really sad news. We've seen a lot of tributes this weekend from various teams, and it's a nice touch to see them honouring such a great man. Now, moving into the Monaco Grand Prix, we had qualifying today. Really exciting. Who was going to come out on top? Was we going to see a Red Bull Honda at the front of the grid, or is it going to be another Mercedes or potential Ferrari? And of course, it was this man, Lewis Hamilton, who pulled it at the back, out of the bag, right at the death, as he always does. Monaco is not one of his favorite tracks in terms of pole positions and wins as well. So it really was special for him. And this equals 62 front row lockouts, a record for Mercedes, which is held by only other two teams you can see there. So you can see Lewis, he's only had one pole position prior to today. He's got another one in the bag. And he's really going to fancy his chances for this race. It's all going to be about strategy, I predict. With the safety car, is it going to come out? And that's going to be the time to box, save some time, and still keep track position. As Nicky said, a race isn't won until it's over. And anything can happen tomorrow. We could have thunderstorms. We could have carnage. We could have many safety cars. Or we could have a boring race. What's your thoughts and predictions on the race? Who do you think is going to come out on top? Is there going to be an action-packed race, or are we going to see a procession through the streets of Monaco? Lewis was really pumped after the race. He got the pole position lap. Must be really, really pleased with that. And Valtteri Bottas, let's get on to him. How gutted must Valtteri Bottas be? I mean, 0.86 of a second is nothing really. But in F1, it makes all the difference. And it's the difference between potentially winning the race tomorrow and not. Of course, it can all play out with strategy. But yeah, even if he gets a tardy start, Lewis, he can probably defend the inside line into turn one. What's your thoughts? Has Bottas got a chance tomorrow? Do you fancy him? Do you fancy Lewis? Myself, I can't see it happening. He seems a bit more ragged through practice. We've seen him drifting through the tight hairpin. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow. So it finished Lewis Hamilton, Bottas, Max Verstappen with another incredible drive, Sebastian Vettel, Pierre Gasly. I would have liked to have seen him get in front of Vettel. He was very marginal to Vettel there. Then we had K-Mag with a brilliant lap. Daniel Ricciardo really driving the wheels off the Renault. And then Danny Kvyat, very impressive with the Toro Rosso, looking pacey, I must say. Carlos Sainz, good performance to get into Q3, got P9. And Alexander Albon, 2 Toro Rossos in the top 10. That's a great performance. Nico Hulkenberg could start on fresh tyres there in P11, not too bad. And Lando Norris P12 as well. They could potentially score points when it comes to strategy if a safety car comes out. Kimi Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, pretty poor laps. Car's not looking switched on around this track at all, so I don't expect too much from them in the race. Roman Grosjean, quite a disappointment. You can see K-Mags managed to pull it out of the bag and get 6th here. Grosjean only managed 13th. Charles Leclerc, the huge disappointment there, and we'll get onto him in a minute. But Red Bull, looking really pacey, looking like they're in front of Ferrari at Monaco. As expected, it's one of their preferred tracks. They would have hoped to get on the front row of the grid, I'm sure of that. But Max Verstappen putting some stellar laps, really showing what pace is in the car now. We're expecting more upgrades coming from Honda pretty soon. So yeah, another great performance to be the best other than the Mercedes. And you can see there's a big gap there. It's about half a second still. So the boss said on the power unit side, we found the right settings in terms of drivability, which is one of the most important requirements, especially for this track. It will take a long race. It'll be a long race tomorrow, and anything can happen in 78 laps of this tight street circuit. Therefore, we must make sure we're ready for every situation. So that's right. They should be ready to pounce, basically, if anything happens in front of them or, safety car comes out. I know I keep saying it. but you need to react really quick because that is your opportunity. That is your green light here. And the likes of the Toro Rosso boys, they can play a key part in terms of like the track position for the front running team. Potentially, if they work together, they can keep the Red Bull out there a bit longer, or use the Toro Rosso boys potentially in order to get a race win. If the Mercedes come out behind one of them, would they want to back them up? They can certainly do that. So that would be interesting dynamic. Do you think the teams work together or completely independent? I think there's more to it. Huge disappointment for the day was Ferrari. They ballsed it up again. Once again, they got it all wrong. There needs to be some real management decisions here. Charles Leclerc, he said to him, do I need to do another lap? They said, we think we'll be okay. And of course, it wasn't enough. And he got eliminated in Q1. That's a huge embarrassment. At his home Grand Prix, remember, in the Ferrari. You can see his teammate, did a good qualifying lap. So, yeah, so it's a real wondrous thing what's going on at Ferrari. There needs to be some real headbang together. Vettel did have a bit of trouble in practice. He did put it into the wall. That would have knocked his confidence going into qualifying. I can't really see him doing that well during the race. The Renault boys, the Honey Badger, drove the socks off that Renault. And he said, I'm happy with the end result, especially where we were started on Thursday. We made some brave changes with the car after FP3, and it worked. Going the extra mile was paid off. The team made a strong recovery today, and we can be pleased with that. Some variables tomorrow could make it interesting, but wouldn't be disappointed if I can wake up with rain. And Hulkenberg as well. The car felt had the potential for Q3, so it's a little disappointment just to miss out in 11th place. It was a very tight out there. Maybe I was pushing too hard, overdriving the car in places here and there, but that's only little things. I started in 11th last year, and we still managed to score decent points. So yeah, not too bad for Renault at this Grand Prix. Right, moving on here to Alfa Romeo. So it's Kimi Raikkonen's big celebration. It's now 300 Grand Prix. He didn't want anything laid on for him, any sort of celebration. He tried to cancel everything, but to no success. Kimi likes to party in Kimi style, and he doesn't want anyone surprising him. He doesn't want to crack a smile, the Iceman. So looking really disappointing in the car around here. Doesn't really suit the likes of Monaco. More of a high-speed car, for instance, but... yeah, don't expect too much. They'll be backing up the field. McLaren not looking too bad. Lando Norris didn't really get it hooked up in qualifying. Carlos Sainz got through to Q3. Great performance from them. Good to see McLaren consistent into Q3. A great performance from them this season. Hopefully they'll be bringing some upgrades as well. And as long as they can stay ahead of the Renault, that's great progress, you must say, ahead of the works team. So here they are chilling on one of the yachts. What do we expect for Lando Norris? I'll be happy for him to get a point, maybe a couple of points. Oh, yeah, here we had Kimi saying, yeah, I have that Force India, whatever the fuck it's called in the way. Haas, contrast, one good, one bad. So we had K-Mag really wringing the neck out of this Haas car and Haas again for more power. Nice little tribute there for Niki Lauda on the fin of the car. And K-Mag, great performance, 111.1 and a 112.0 for Romain Grosjean, who finished in Q2. So we lost a few points in Barcelona. You can never be happy with that. He wants to make up this weekend, and he's already fucked it up. So we're going to have 78 laps of the Grand Prix. The race distance, 260 kilometers. The lap record was Max Verstappen with 1:14.2. Expect that to topple. We saw Ronaldo in the paddock. We saw many celebrities at this one, the likes of David Beckham, for instance. Here's some more under the cover imagery where we love a bit of car porn, and here we go. So I just thought I'd leave you with that. Let me know your thoughts. What's the race going to turn out like? What's your predictions? I do believe it's going to be a Lewis Hamilton win. I'd say potentially Max Verstappen on the podium. I would like him to push for P2, for instance, but most likely Valtteri Bottas will come home second. It's been great talking to you again. We'll catch up after the race. Got the feeling it's going to be a spicy one. I hope it is indeed, and I'll join you all soon. Thanks for watching. Good night.